Episode 13, answering some questions about episode 12. Like, what was the date that the first indoor tango began in Argentina? I think it was 1863 because that date was the date that Guillermo Rausen was appointed the Minister of Interior of the first elected government of Argentina. So my guess is that it was somewhere in that time period, 1863, and it lasted until I think 1943, the Practica Rausen. So that's the answer to that question. So it was more than 100 years, I guess, and it also was. In the hospital, and I think it was every Sunday, and it may have been more than that, but definitely every Sunday. And the idea was that people would arrive in the hospital, they danced for free, but they would bring their own food and drink, wine, etc., and they would share the food with their friends, with each other, because a lot of them, of course, were poor. And so they would kind of donate to each other. And the other thing that they shared was learning how to dance tango. They learned how to dance tango from their friends and family. There were no tango teachers, actually. Well, there were, but they were your friends and family. But there were no tango teachers that really were paid like today. But I imagine there were some. Some guys were probably really good dancers and maybe they were offered money. But in general, you learn from your friends and family. And that's the concept of the Practica Rausen. And it is true today, even in Argentina, although there's no tango at the hospital anymore. It is in other places. And it is called a Practica Rausen. When everyone is invited, you share everything. You share your knowledge of tango, and you can share food, and it's a community thing basically. So Rawson Hospital, Practica Rausen, became a community center in effect, and of course the reason was the weather. It was a safe place to dance tango. You didn't have to worry about the rain. So that's a follow-up of what I was just talking about. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a post. There was a song written called Tango Rausen, and it became very famous. And I'm going to find that song and I'll post it also so you can hear it. And it was kind of interesting because it was done by the orchestras, of course, but there was also a player piano that played Tango Rausen. And I found a video clip of an Argentine who has a player piano, and he played Tango Rausen. So they did have player pianos, around the turn of the century, and they didn't need orchestras to play it. They could play with a machine, which was the player piano. So it's kind of some of the history of the thing. And also there was more. When Juan Perón closed the tango, outlawed tango, and closed down Practica Rausen, he did it because he had a political opponent that he was trying to destroy, which he did. And that political opponent was a general, and the general's name, are you ready? Arturo Rausen. He was the son of Guillermo Rausen's brother. And he became a general in the Argentine army, and he tried to save Argentina with some other generals, and he actually was the president of Argentina at one point, Arturo Rausen. So Juan Perón got all the labor unions organized, and he decided to get rid of the generals and become a dictator. And so that's what Juan Perón did, and that was one of the big reasons, besides a general reason for outlawing tango, is he wanted to try to get rid of the Rausens, and actually I think he did a pretty good job, because Arturo Rausen was opposed to Juan Perón's dictatorship. So but as what we know what actually happened. Juan Perón kind of won, and then you had the Peronistas, which are still around, and of course the Argentine economy has never done well since 1943 when Juan Perón took over the country. So this is a kind of a backup, and I'll look for the song and the guy on the player piano, and even the version that was done by D'Arenzo's orchestra in 1930s, full orchestra playing the Tango Rausen. Okay, so this is the end of episode 13. So, and oh yeah, buy me a coffee if you like this. Appreciate it, and also make a comment if you don't agree with me or you want to say something. Go ahead and do it. And I love to have comments. I like to have likes, and also subscribers, of course, and buy me a coffee. That puts a little money in my pocket, which is nice, and I'll buy coffee with it probably. So have a great day. This is the end of episode 13.